Is there anybody out there who is surprised by Paul McCartney's support for Miley Cyrus? I am not, because um, yeah, the years have gone by, and he has been distinguished by honors here and there. White House, the Queen gave him a Sir knighthood and so on. And some folks seem to have forgotten these guys. It don't seem as if time though has helped him to mature in his mind. Because one British lady said in a post that they were running up and down Britain here, coding songs and things that people that dumb to believe they're kind of trivial, kind of trying to hide stuff, like when the song about strawberry fields forever. I mean, the interpretation we had in the 60s that they're talking about injecting, white, skin with drugs, and it leaves that sort of strawberry look. And then, of course, people have a controversy over LSD, Lucy in the Sky is Diamonds, and so on. Hey, I mean, if I'm going to sing a song, and I know that, and I really have good motives, and I don't want to get any mix up, and I know that Lucy in the Sky is Diamonds and it's LSD, why would I sing it? I mean, controversy helps, but on the other hand, is it something far-fetched from these guys that is what they could be singing about? Yeah, there might be some Lucy in the Sky they're talking about, but it could have also been that they're talking about this LSD. And so they've been pioneers in some of the stuff that is coming to fruition now. And in the 60s, they couldn't have come out and said, well, drugs this and drugs that, so that they coded it in a way they thought that the message would be gotten. They could always doubt that that's what they were singing about. And they'd be accomplishing what their master really wants to be accomplished. Now, for example, this song they sang, My Sweet Lord. I recall some young lady joined my church and she was trying to sing that, and they shut it down real quick because it sounds exciting and fascinating. My sweet Lord, hallelujah, and so on. But when you listen to it carefully, in the West there we might be thinking that they're talking about the God of the Creator God, the Triune God in heaven. But no, he was singing about Hare Krishna, because he started singing, Hari, Hari, I really want to see you, and all this kind of stuff. And Hare Krishna just happens to be another name that Satan has taken on, so that he wants to have an aspiration apparently. Then he went on to sing about when Mother Mary comes to me speaking words of wisdom. Now, Mother Mary has never appeared to him, and this could have been a nice song for the Catholics to buy his record around the world, or perhaps the people that control Hollywood and control his music genre scene up in London or wherever might have been, Catholics and so on, and so he's trying to get their message out. But I mean, is Mother Mary, something that a Protestant who he might have been in Britain would want to sing about? Because we know that, or the Bible teaches about death, and we also understand about Mary. I mean, she's the mother of Jesus, but she's not the mother of God, and she's not a goddess. The whole 9 yards. I mean, this is just the blacks in Africa had Mother Isis as a god. Then in Greek, they had female gods and so on. So this was just another way of wasting people's time with this Mother Mary appearation stuff. So and their music, it was like sugar, like soda. It's sweet and so on. But in real terms, they had no musical education, and they went off to India and sat down with some of these supposed to be gurus and wise guys. I recall there was a story that they took an entourage over there with some beautiful woman by some Marishogi guy, and the guy was going at one of the girls, and they were surprised. Now, how are you gonna be surprised about that? Here's a guy, he probably wasn't married. I mean, well, you don't think that he has a way of finding that sort of release. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look, the priest. So you see what I'm saying? So with Miley Cyrus, basically, I mean, it's not surprising to me that a guy with that kind of background basically would, do this kind of support for Miley, because I'm sure Miley of herself, she isn't too proud of what she's doing. I mean, perhaps if she has a conscience at all, she won't be happy doing stuff like that. I see people do things and they seem to be happy, gay pride and so on. And I'm sure, and I'm wondering, like, how can you be happy doing something that God says not to do, and that religious culture would have a conscience so educated that it would cause trepidation and this whole guilt trip and so on. How are you gonna be happy with that? But many people comment on the Beatles' musical talent and so forth. As I said, I haven't read where they were doing music, prior going to some school and doing music, etc. And etc. But going down to India and joining in with this voodoo and so forth, hey, Satan is the musician in heaven, and a lot of the music out here, he's the one inspiring guys with lyrics and the instrumental. So all you have to do is be evil, and if that is where he thinks, Satan thinks that you would be best to serve him, he's going to make you a star. He's going to give you a lot of inspiration about words. He's going to give you some inspiration about instrumentals, which they aren't in harmony. Because if we truly were intuitive and understood exactly what some of these songs would be doing, it's about peace and happiness, and the music is about war. So you're having that conflict, and while consciously you might not understand it, subconsciously it is beating you down. See some of these kids going to school and in the morning have on the ear thing and they're singing about your mother this and shoot up the place. I mean, how are you gonna be able to go to school and function and have a good day? All right, you're gonna be depressed, and hearing about this violence all the time. Your sort of defenses are kind of beaten down, and you're prone to it, in the whole 9 yards. You end up in some gang shooting on the place because conscience is being overrun, and the whole 9 yards. So basically, I'm not sure about the musical ability of the Beatles. Paul McCartney does things that sound like soda, but hey, if you're committed to Satan, and I know you can say, oh, I go to some church over here. I mean, right, but if you're susceptible to his influence, he comes in and he brings in this kind of thing to you. And so Miley, she has had a sterling. I'm trying to find out what's happening with these young people when they're taken so young and made stars, whether they freeze in their development, or even if you try to help them to move on with education, etc., they're not interested in that. And so you have people who are grown, but their mental development is way back, like at 4, 5, 6, 7, Bieber, and then we expect them now to behave normal. Michael Jackson, the weird stuff he was doing. They're locked up in this childhood thing, and they're doing things that are childish, and sometimes it's fascinating to explore child in us, and we like it, etc. So I'm not surprised with the Beatles endorsement, and I love everybody, but I'm not going to let anybody come out here and sing me some stupidness that is going to interfere in my psyche and my happiness and my perception and my whole experience. All right. So as I said, I'm not surprised, and good luck, Cyrus. I hope that she run into a wall and realize that this thing is destructive. Now the other day she's singing about praising drugs. I mean, she's lost, man. She's in bad shape, and I hope that she's rescued and she saves herself from the difficulty and the chagrin that comes from these people who having been sort of discovered as a child and didn't have a chance to grow up and to mature and to live a life of torment and persecution. So I hope that she stops.